Alright, we're going to graph systems of inequalities today. To graph systems of inequalities, you will first solve for y. If there is no y, solve for x. And we want to solve for y so that we get it into the form y equals mx plus b, so we can identify the slope and the intercept to graph quickly. After you've done that, you're going to graph each inequality one at a time and shade the region. Remember that if y is greater than, we shade above. If y is less than, we shade below. This will be a dashed line, and the only time we can get the solid line is if there is that equal attached to the inequality. After you've done that, you're going to darken the overlapping area, and this is what's known as the solution. If there is no overlapping, then there is no solution. So for example, if we had parallel lines, and this one shaded above and this one shaded below, these do not overlap, so this is where you'll get a no solution. Most likely, though, you will have two systems that will overlap, say for example here, and then that's what is known as the solution. So our first example says to graph x equals 2, greater than or equal to 2, and that's just a vertical line at x is greater, or at 2, and then to show greater than, we would shade this side. Greater than 2 would be 3, 4, 5. The second one we're going to solve for, and let me do that in a different color. We'll solve for y by subtracting x to both sides, so these subtract out, and I like to put that x first, and then pick out the slope and the intercept. So our intercept is 3. We start up 3 on the y-axis, and we apply our slope, which says down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. And this will be a solid line because it says equal to. And the inequality right here says to shade less than, so less than would be below. And then after you've shaded both regions, you want to darken the overlapping area. And I can actually go back and erase these, so it's not required. But this is what you'll see from me as a solution, is that region there. We talked about this in class, that if I chose a point right here, this point would not be a solution. The point here would not be a solution. However, this point is a solution. It's part of that shaded region. It's included because it has, up here it says that the line is equal to as well, and then any point inside the shaded region would be known as solutions. For our second one, you're going to take the top equation and solve for y. So we solve for y by subtracting x. I'm going to write it up here. You're left with negative 2y is less than or equal to negative x plus 3. And then to solve this, we divide by negative 2. And whenever you divide by a negative, remember that it reverses or flips that symbol. So I have greater than now instead of less than or equal to. And then negative 1 over negative 2 is 1/2 x plus a negative 1.5. Or negative 3/2, however you want to write that. So to graph that line, we start down negative 1.5, and we apply our slope up 1 over 2. Come on, up 1 over 2. Or we could go down 1 back 2. And then we look to see, because it has the equals, it's a solid line. And then we determine the shading. It says y is greater than, so we would shade above. To graph our second line, y is already solved for, so we can easily pick out the slope and the y-intercept. So the y-intercept says we go down 4, and then apply that slope up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1. We have a dashed line because there is no equal. And then it says y is greater than, so we would shade above. And then again, you go to darken that overlapping area, which would occur from here to here. And I can erase this. I don't expect you to erase it. But I'll just show you that those values are not included in your overlapping region. Okay, here's your last one. We can easily pick out our y values, or sorry, our slope and our intercept. So we start up 4, apply our slope down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. We have a dashed line because there is no equal and y is greater than, so we would just shade above that line. Our second one, you're going to subtract 2x to solve for y, and you get y is less than negative 2x minus 2. To graph this, we start down 2, and then we go down 2 over 1. You should notice at this point we have the same exact slope, but different intercepts, so that means we have parallel lines. It's a dashed line because there is no equal, and this one says we shade below. Because we shade below, you can see that there is no overlapping region. And if there is no overlapping region, this is where no solution occurs. Okay, your assignment is graphing systems of inequalities. Good luck.